Welcome to this presentation. In the earlier video presentation, we have seen the characteristic of newspaper, film and electronic media. Electronic media that deals with the audio and video, radio and television. In this presentation, we are focusing more on the latest developments in the media stream, that is new media or digital media or online media. There are a wide variety of terms being referred. The new media in the sense the relative term, it relates to the latest developments, relates to the latest technological intervention in the communication process. For our understanding, we can keep it as a digital medium and online medium, and even wherever the new media is being used, you understand it as a digital or online medium. The digital medium can be easily defined as a kind of platform in which multiple media elements like a text, photograph, animation, audio, video and kind of small illustrated animation can be incorporated, and this kind of package is being delivered through a network platform or in independent digital storage system. So, that is how we can simply define the digital media. A medium carries the multiple media elements through a network method or in an independent storage system. It has certain common characteristics, like it's a digital medium, it's an interactive medium, it's a hypertext medium, it's a virtual, it's a network. Digital in the sense, the medium works in a computing process. It's all the content, whichever content is transferred from one system to another system, be it a computer or laptop or tablet or mobile, the transformation of information being carried out in binary numbers, 1 or 0. The advantage with a digital medium is there is no loss of information. Either the material or information is being delivered to the target or the receiving end, or if it is failed, it will come back to the main originating point. The digital medium, that is the plus point, is loss of information is almost nil in that way, because it has a kind of a transmission protocol. In each information is being broken into multiple pockets, small pieces, and each pocket carries the sender's IP number and the receiver's IP number. So, automatically if it generates from one system, it has to be delivered in the IP number of the receiving end. That is a guaranteed system. In case the receiving system not in a position to receive, automatically it will be intimated to the sender saying that the delivery is not happened. In case the failure happens, we might have usually received a kind of mail delivery report in which that the particular inbox is full or the account is being deleted, like that part. So, that's a specialty with the medium digital, and it's interactive. Unlike in the other traditional mainstream media, the newspaper, film or radio and television, the earlier presentation we have seen that majority of the media entities of traditional media operates in a vertical model or the top-down model, where the one group or media organization sits in one place, they take care about the entire country or entire market. But here, the audience or the user can interact with the website or the media content. Even some extent, they can alter the content. That's how the new system works, highly interactive. In a television, the system is completely linear, news broadcast at 9 o'clock, and if you don't like the first 3 stories, you can't skip to the 4th story. You have to wait till the 3 stories are covered, then only you can go to the 4th story. But in the website or in the online platform, easily you can migrate from one system to another, one website to another, one story to another story in a one simple click. You can change it. You can change the pattern. It's not delivered as per the center, and here the interaction with the website, interaction with the online content based on our need, our our interest and how we are interacting with the way. The information receiving level or the way we are entertaining with ourselves with the online platform completely interactive. The way we want the information, way the entertainment has to be played out, we have the complete control. That kind of interaction. I told you that even sometimes we can change the content. This Wikipedia is one of the classic example. It's a websites operates with the help of a group of community of users. This encyclopedia created by a large number of audience, large number of users, not by a small team of professional experts of concerned subjects. Users, they have developed their own rules and regulation, what needs to be done, what needs to be carried out, what needs to be deleted that. So that's how the entire website is operating with the help of users. It's one of the topmost, among the top 10 popular websites. That's how the online platform facilitates interaction with the user. And I gave Wikipedia as one example. That is a concept at Web 2.0, and you have a lot of interaction with the medium. The way the primary platform meant for highly interactive, that it has to be operated, that's one of the maybe we can constraints, because it demands active usage, active involvement of user. You have to operate the content, then only it will be delivered, it comes to you what you want that. So that may be one of the reason why the internet has kind of, in the internet and the new media platform, we can notice a lot of inequalities. Earlier we used to refer that term digital divide. Digital divide in the sense those having access to the medium, those don't have access to the medium, haves and have-nots. But that's the earliest concept, access, particularly talking about access. But now we are moved much beyond that point. Now we have in urban center, the mobile penetration is more than 100%. If you take a TRA report of 2020, the Delhi density of urban goes beyond 100%. But whereas in a rural area, it's around 30, 40, 50%, depends on the various geographical conditions. Some states, some locations, and there are higher percentage in the rural and lower percentage in the urban, particularly talking about internet penetration thing. In 2020, we have approximately 51% of the internet penetration. And though penetration is reaching the 50% of the population, the remaining 50%, they are not in the position to access the content. But equally, we have to remember that the mobile has a highest reach. Highest reach means nearly about 90% more level of penetration in the countrywide level. And but not all the mobile has an internet connection. Substantial numbers are having internet connection, but on average we can say that 50% is connected with the internet, the mobile handset. But overall it's a 51% of penetration in Indian context. But we come back to the point of interactive, and interactive in the sense access one level beyond, once internet is being provided or we are able to access it, again there are constraints at the way that we are interacting with the medium, we are interacting with the website. That's a one level. Second level, the language constraints and the quality of internet and how we are going to utilize that information for, because we in the television we know this channel is meant for news, this channel for entertainment, this channel for sports and all. Here we need to remember the URL website and which site is popular, because billions of websites are available. Which one is a good one, which is not good, and fake news, misinformation, disinformation is rampant in a contemporary world. So that is kind of requires competency and skills in order to work with this medium. Okay, we will have a separate unit on media information literacy. We will talk more about competency and skills in order to understand the media relationship with the users. Now we'll go ahead with the next point, like the hypertext. It's a digital, it's a interactive, it's a hypertext. All the content in the online platform are interlinked. And not necessarily that we have to put the entire news story in a one page. If it is a 2,500 feature story, 2,500 worded feature story, that can be break into the multiple pages, or that can be break into the multiple news items, can be interlinked. So the online medium, along with the digital and interactive, the online platforms, it's a hypertext based. Hypertext based means every content has an interlinked between one and another. There are a lot of advantage in the part. We don't need to load the information in one page. That information can be segmented into multiple parts, and this can be easily integrated. For example, a story talking about today's judgment from Supreme Court, not necessary to historical development of the case in the same story. That can be separated from the main story and interlinked within this page, a kind of the story started with this kind of period, hyperlink, create a hyperlink. If those interested to know the timeline, those who wants to know the background of the story, those people interested only can go back to the timeline part. So that's one advantage, can be streamlined, the content can be streamlined in much more efficient way, and multiple sources can be interlinked. No need to explain everything in one story. Wherever possible, we can create a hyperlink. A story can be linked with a video or audio or animation. If there is a story about tsunami, no need to explain about what is a tsunami at all. If there is a 1 minute video is about tsunami, linked with that, those interested to see that what is a tsunami, that can be explained easily, because animation can be created with exact precision, because we may not have audio, we may not have video of how tsunami is being created, but it can be easily animated. That can be linked with a story. So that's how that hypertext element is adding advantage to the digital medium. The next point is virtual. The virtual in the sense, this medium with artificial intelligence, with kind of virtual reality and computer games, lot of entertainment can be delivered to the audience. And we will come back to the point of second life in the later slides. That's a virtual in the sense, we can have a kind of different life, and it's a kind of quasi-medium. And we will come to that point in the later slides. And it's a network. The network means when the internet or computer-based system started coming to the normal life, late 60s and early 70s, the initial system were interconnected physically. There was no wireless part, but physically interconnected, and over the period of time, they got a lot of advanced technology. 94, 95, we got internet in India, and the 25 years of service, I was mentioning about 51% of the connection part. The computer itself, the another definition we can say, it's a network of networks. And it's a medium, but it's a collection of billions of computers, billions of mobile systems, billions of tablets, and billions of laptop systems, but interconnected with a fiber optic or server system and URL, domain name, all the information through hypertext, interactive, and hardware and software level, and even a human being, we are completely internet. One is the system has got this network of system is being created with the system, and we are able to connect with a multiple number of people, networking with unknown people, common interest, virtual communities, online communities, many more human communication dimensions are being explored with the help of new media. But the next important points with this characteristic of new media is it's a two-way communication. And unlike other mainstream media, it's not a monologue, it's not the one-way communication, but always we can have communicating with the audience. That's how the media operates. There are conditions how this information is being delivered to us. Mainly, there are two ways of delivering information. One is synchronous, one is asynchronous. Synchronous in the sense, if we able to see a live interaction, live broadcast through YouTube, or you are chatting with someone in a real-time basis, and the other person is available in the other point, and you are available in a real time, and live broadcast, it's like a telephone. And that's called synchronous. Synchronous means both are synced, both are available on real-time basis, not necessarily in the same physical location. The point A, one person sits in India, another person sits in Europe, or within India, one person sits in Delhi, another person sits in Bangalore. So that's how the system demands. Synchronous means that it has to be operated on a real-time basis. The best is in the chatting or the live conferences, webinars, all this we can say the synchronous, live one. Asynchronous is a classic example, is email. Here where that both the people not necessarily to be available on a particular time while communicating with each other. Email is the best example. You send a mail, and whenever your time permits, you compose it and send it to the person. The other person may read it immediately, or may read it after one day, or may read it after 1 month, or may not read it at all. So that's the asynchronous way. Kind of asynchronous means that's not a real-time basis, but a message is being communicated, it's available, and the person who sends, who receives may not happen in real time, but happens at different time. There is a considerable level of delay happens in asynchronous part. Depends upon the asynchronous and synchronous, the two-way of communication also is immediate or delayed part. And there's another point is the community interaction. Community interaction in the sense, the point earlier we mentioned about networked system, the computer creates a network and network creates a kind of cyberspace. In the cyberspace, on that we can have a kind of group communication, or community, or kind of the community or group evolves based on the common interest. The online communities and virtual communities are speciality of online media. We may have earlier, before internet, we used to have a kind of club or kind of gathering or kind of association. That's a physical level, offline level. And if there is an association, a group of people on particular topic, but association works in a particular geographical location. They may not be able to meet frequently if the members are from diverse geographical points. But when it comes to the online, here there is no question about a geographical point. The people come to the online community on gardening, or online community on particular political ideology, or online communities on certain wildlife species. You can have n number of topics. Any topic, anyone can create a kind of group. People can assemble. Here, the people assemble and they create a community based on interest, not necessarily based on the geographical point and the time difference, and they can have a synchronous way of communication, they can have asynchronous way of communication. But this platform creates a kind of people gather in a particular space in a synchronous mode or asynchronous mode on the basis of interest, and they can sustain the relationship over the period of community. If it formed, they can have their own kind of rules and regulations. Okay, we have to follow this kind of rules. This is allowed, this is not allowed, and this is how the function. Those are happy with that rules continue, and they're not happy, they can go out, they can create another set of community. So that's how the system works. Earlier we had a different set of before social media. We had a Usenet. The groups works in through emails, through different bulletin boards and bulletin boards and emails. And then the social media, particularly Facebook, Twitter, earlier MySpace, and that completely changed the concept of computer-mediated communication. The Usenet-based communities are migrated to the online. There is a lot of groups operates in the Facebook. There are a lot of people following a certain celebrity. The celebrity following a celebrity itself is a kind of a small kind of virtual community. They follow a certain ideology, or they follow certain groups, certain pages. So this is the kind of special features of new media. If you look at the historical developments of digital media, there are two important points that supported the development, emergence of digital media. One, the computing devices and the potential of computing devices. The second is satellite communication. Computer and the satellite combination created a massive revolution in the information delivery, information processing, not necessarily only online medium. It supported the multiple way of communication process. And second, one is computing devices and satellite. It's the hardware side, and that supported part. And the communication process itself, the digitalization of communication process, that added an extra advantage. Here, there is no loss of signal. So that's one specialty with that. Satellite communication, computing devices, and the power of digitalization. That added immense speed in which the medium gone. It took long years for print media to come to the popular and become very mass level of circulation. The film took a very long time to combine the different existing technology to become a kind of independent media entity. and radio and television took a very long period, but the internet, within the shortest period of time, it got highest level of penetration, though 51% in Indian context. But if you go to the European or developed countries, that there are some countries that are saturated, 98%, 99% of penetration they have. So that's the shortest period of time this kind of achievement is able to reach only in the new media, in the online and digital platform. And one of the major special feature of new media is, earlier we used to have a separate gadgets for different media usage. For example, for audio, sometime back, earlier we used to have a DVD player or CD player or earlier cassette player, and same thing for television. We need a television set, radio receiver, newsprint for newspaper, film rolls for theater. Different medium, we need different setup to consume or to operate, to spend the time with a different medium. But when it comes to the online, we don't need any extra. With your mobile, with your tablet, with your computer, with your laptop, you can play your video, you can play your audio, you can read a e-paper, and you can play your game, animate, and do whatever you want to do it. Everything is possible in one medium. That's a unique specialty with the online media. We don't no longer need any particular various different gadgets to consume different formats. One medium applicable to anything. The reason is the content is being digitized. Everything, be it audio, video, animation, text, photograph, or illustration, everything is being converted into numbers. Pixels are converted into numbers. Numbers are encoded, and in the different the content is being encoded into numbers, binary numbers, and then it goes transmitted over the computing network or optic fiber or wirelessly, and it's being reassembled, decoded, and the numbers are decoded and displayed as it is how it got encoded. Encoding and decoding, the digitization process helps to handle multiple media contents. Right, so that's why we don't need a different gadget to consume the different media content. And because it's a storage is based on numbers and it's facilitated a kind of mass storage. We don't need nowadays a kind of DVD and CDs to carry your content. Now we are talking about cloud computing. Cloud computing in the sense there is a common server and you have a system to operate the data only. Create a Google Doc and there you type your content that can be shared with anyone in your system, and close the system, go to home, and from home with your tablet or with a laptop you can access same document which you created in office, because the document is not lying in your office computer, it's lying in the cloud. And that can be accessed by you, or if you share with the 10 people, all the 10 people simultaneously they can work on a different time, synchronously or asynchronously. The 10 people collectively collaborate each other, they can create a document which was not possible in the earlier stage. So that's a one kind of new storage retrieval system, databases, cloud computing, and information retrieval. When it comes to the database and information retrieval, I want to highlight certain point. The computing devices or online and digital media are bombarded with a lot of information. People want to control or want to utilize the medium for their benefits. They should have the basic skill of handling the information, collecting the information, storing the information, retrieving the information appropriately for your use in a very shortest time, and manage the information. Managing the information is a very, very crucial while dealing with a new media. That's how we are talking about competency and skill, and that's related to media and information literacy. We have a separate unit on that. We will deal extensively on that point. We were talking about two-way communication. It's not a top-down model, it's a horizontal, and we have a lot of interactivity. That facilitated with the mobile handsets and affordable data connection, everybody make a movie or make a content and share it with a wider audience. We are capable, we are empowered to communicate with a wider audience. Unlike the traditional media where mostly we are a passive audience, we receive the content, we have very limited scope to give a feedback. Here, not only interactive, not only we are giving a feedback, we ourselves can make a movie make a movie, make a content, we can run a channel, we can run a website, we can run a kind of different newspaper online. There are hyperlocal newspapers, or there are many more hyperlocal newspapers operates in a social platform or website. 5 members or 10 members team managing the hyperlocal newspaper. There are a lot of examples in that private media making. So that's the specialty of this course. This course we are talking about media information empowerment. The point here, not necessarily the institution has to play a role in a social wide communication. Individual can play a role. That's one of the core point of this course. That's what we are highlighting, that individual private making potential has to be utilized for public purpose. That's why we are trying to link with this private making capability of individual, link with the social sustainable development goals for common public utilization. How best we can use individual ability of communicating, participation in the communication process for public welfare. The reason I am telling that, the mainstream media, in the earlier presentation on television, newspaper, on film, we were talking about the news content, the main content talking about crime, political, sensational, celebrity, PhD content, very limited space and time is being given for developmental issues. And here in this online platform, we don't need to worry about time, we don't have to worry about the space. And the individual can play a role, individual can make a kind of campaign, awareness, and everything on public cause. So that's a private private media making is a specialty of the medium. With ICT tool, a kind of public engagement made it very easy on that. And because of public private media making, the line between the professional communication and the personal level is very thin. Reason is, it's not a one group of people, a small group of people communicating mass. Here the communication happens in a multiple way. You can, if it is synchronous, you are chatting with someone, it's a one-to-one. If you are addressing to the 100 people through webinar, it's one-to-many. And it's a kind of Wikipedia kind of online communities, mass number of people communicating the mass number. One-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-many. This is a multiple way of communication is guaranteed in the digital platform. And here I was talking about this virtual medium in the beginning of the presentation. Here the point is the quasi-media. We can talk about the new kinds of quasi-media. The second life. Second life, the sense, then the computer video games, virtual reality or artificial intelligence guarantees that we can take a different avatar. The avatar of depends upon our interest. If I want to take a different role together, which I was not able to do it in my offline world, I can do it. So of course, it has its limitation. That we should not extensively addicted to that kind of second life, because that may disturb your mental framework. And of course, we have to spend this quasi-media for our own time, leisure time, our own entertainment purposes only. If you go beyond that point, then there is an issue with the second life. But the medium, the artificial intelligence, virtual reality facilitate the different avatar. That is the point we want to highlight here. Then next point here is, we are talking about individuals, we are talking about computer communication and how it got revolutionized the entire information processing system. But equally, the digital medium and online medium equipped or supported the traditional mainstream media. The newspapers nowadays works with cloud computing, where the entire editions and news stories are handled with one server, and multiple editions possible, and you design the pages in one city, transfer to a printing machine in some other city, and manage the local edition, or radio and television. They are having a mobile. Many channels are nowadays using the mobile-based journalism, where you can cut short the number of human resources. Lesser the human resources, then your investment or running cost also goes down. That helps them, because with the higher resolution through mobile thing, the news channels can broadcast with the journalist. The journalist, himself itself, they can operate the mobile and they can broadcast live or recorded video, and they can run it. That's how with the data, with the computing devices, mobile devices, the new media is helping the traditional mainstream media in a very extensive way. And we were talking about interactivity, we were talking about hypertextuality, private making part. That one point I would like to highlight again the point that because of horizontal communication, the power of information, power of communication, the power of balance of power is being shifted from media to the audience. So, no longer the media enjoys that commanding power of communicate. We are the sole proprietary of having a proprietary rights of communicating with a mass audience. It's no longer existing that way. Anyone can communicate, anyone can create a content, anyone can have their own website or channel. They can reach to a wider audience. Of course, the quality of the content, the authority of the opinion, and the background of the personality makes the success on the different method. But the communication process is being shifted from the media to the audience. And the traditional media is more or less one way, it's one directional, but here more interactive, news media is interactive. Interactivity with the content, interactive with the medium, interactivity with a different set of people through medium, that's the most speciality with this medium. And I would like to summarize this presentation of digital media with a major highlighting point. The digital media primarily is a computer based technology. And here the transmissions or the transfer of the information from one system to another system happens through binary numbers. Since the binary numbers are involved, we don't need a different gadgets to consume different media elements, and there is no loss of information. And it's a hybrid, it's non-dedicated, it's a flexible in character, and it's more interactive. Interactive potential is very high, and it facilitates private as well as public functions. We no longer use this medium only for public function. You can have an email with your family members, or you can write a mail to the mass number of people, or you can write a Facebook page which is not meant for a closed group. You can keep it for the closed group, or you can open to the entire world. And then the medium can be utilized for both the purpose, public purpose as well as the private functions. And unlike the film or radio, television, newspaper, which is little more controlled because they are operating within the legal constraints, within the framework of the legal framework. But here, the medium is a global medium. Your website can be in one country and that targeted for some other country, and it's a kind of challenging job for regulatory authority to control the internet. Internet governance itself is a very broad area, and of course, there are a lot of new technologies helping the regulatory bodies to control the content, but still there are because technology provides multiple opportunity, multiple way of dealing with the communication. So that's the biggest challenge. Internet governance is a biggest challenging task as of now, because this is a wider platform, global reach, and any country can host any kind of server, and the content can be meant for that country or for different country. Then intergovernmental relationship matters on different level. Of course, with the control of ISP, internet service provider, many countries they used to restrict the access to certain websites. So that's because the medium technology based. That's one of the challenge as of now we are facing with internet governance, and it's because it's a network of computers, network of system, and it's network of human beings. So interconnectedness helps much more human interaction and not necessarily restricted to the geographical boundary. It goes beyond your boundary, it goes beyond your time constraints and reaching to a wider audience with different relationship, different knowledge sharing, different kind of experience they are enjoying over the internet period, over the medium, in online medium. So with that, this presentation I would like to conclude. Thank you.